Hey everybody, how's it going? I hope you guys are having a good one. So we have some news in the Dragon Age sphere of things today, more specifically from Dragon Age the Veilguard. We had the star of the Inquisition, the voice actress for the Inquisitor in Dragon Age Inquisition, uh, really talking about this game, and she she thinks it's a little sad that people were not receiving the game very well. So I read this article a little bit earlier today, so I have an idea what she's talking about. So I've pulled a couple of things up, and I wanted to give my take on it as best as I can and go through it with you guys. But this article was written by IGN by Tom Phillips. It was written today at 7 a.m. in the morning, May 24th. And I'm not going to agree with this article at all, and I'm kind of going to go into detail why as best as I can. But Dragon Age, the Veilguard star, absolutely devastated over Backlash, says people wanted to see BioWare fail. That's not true at all. People wanted BioWare to succeed. Mass Effect was a great franchise. People want to continue living in the Mass Effect world. Dragon Age, up to this point, was great. It was one of my favorite games of all time, Dragon Age Origins, and I love Dragon Age 2. Inquisition was okay. I think with Inquisition, my problem with Inquisition was I also played The Witcher 3 around that time. So I saw what games like Dragon Age could be, and I wanted Dragon Age so badly to be like The Witcher, but it wasn't. It was its own thing. It was still a good game, but the Veilguard's not. So, and part of the reason is, well, we'll get into it. Dragon Age star Alex Wilton Reagan has given her personal response to the backlash faced by last year's Dragon Age The Veilguard and blamed the mixed reactions on people who wanted to see the game fail or wanted to see BioWare fail. That is such a ridiculous statement because, like I said, Dragon Age and Mass Effect were beloved games. BioWare was a beloved studio. If you go back to Dragon Age Origins and 2, and Mass Effect 1 and 2, even 3, and even like kind of with Andromeda, if you can get past the My Face is Tired stuff, people were all about BioWare and Bethesda and those games. If you wanted a good RPG game, you would play something from BioWare or Bethesda. People are always excited for the next edition for a Mass Effect or a Dragon Age, or I think BioWare also made some Star Wars games, right? And those were really good games. So to say something like this is so idiotic. Like what she says up here, it's an idiotic stance to take. People didn't want to see the game fail. They wanted it to be great because it's a beloved franchise. And unfortunately, in my opinion, they didn't make this game for the Dragon Age fan. They made it for the modern audience. It continues. The actor who plays the female Inquisitor in both Dragon Age Inquisition and Dragon Age The Veilguard told IGN that she was absolutely devastated to see BioWare's latest game fail to find a larger audience, despite mostly positive review scores from its critics. So this is the fourth game in the franchise. If you want to account the Awakening and stuff, we can debate that. Awakening's pretty much a DLC, I think, for Origins, but there was nothing wrong with the previous titles in terms of the story, the lore, everything like that, and you could have just made it for the Dragon Age fans. And with the updated graphics and the gameplay and stuff, people would have been drawn to it. But you wanted to make it for a modern audience. All you talked about for Dragon Age: The Veilguard was they them pronouns. All you talked about was transgenders in the game. All you talked about was the trans surgery scars in the game, in a game with freaking magic in it. It's just that's all you can talk about, and that's all you can push. The sexuality of all the characters. It's Dragon Age is more than the romance and stuff like that. It's you got to have good writing. You got to have a good story. Everything has to be an iconic game. Like Dragon Age Origins was, like Mass Effect was, like Elder Scrolls, Fallout, But now, like with the writing in these kinds of games, you're getting this really crappy millennial style of writing where everything has to be jokey. Everything has to be a freaking Marvel movie. But it continues, speaking during a new interview discussing her many iconic video game characters to date, as well as her role in Microsoft's upcoming Perfect Dark reboot She said she had loved her time as BioWare's Inquisitor. I almost said Inquisitioner, but though she did not believe the character would return, I feel absolutely devastated for BioWare as a studio that they got such mixed reactions to the game. That happens when you make a divisive game. I mean, if you don't want to stick with something that wasn't broke and you wanted to branch out to an audience that just wasn't there. Wilton Reagan said of one of the responses to Veilguard, I personally thought it was a really strong game. Well, you're an idiot. I thought it was just BioWare being more BioWare. No, it was nothing like BioWare. Nothing like the BioWare everyone knew and loved. It was completely different. Everyone from the old BioWare team was gone. And you brought in these new writers who had an agenda, and they pushed this dumb agenda in the game. And that's why it wasn't as successful as the others. That's why people aren't interested in it. People are sick of this stuff. I'm absolutely sick of hearing about this stuff. I also think a lot of people behind kind of wanted to see it fail, or wanted to see BioWare fail, either because they're just really bad people on the internet, of which there are unfortunately many, as we have discovered. Why? Because they have opinions. They didn't want to see their beloved franchises ruined. They wanted a game to be consistent with all the other storytelling and the lore and stuff. What we got from Veilguard, with the marketing, was not a Dragon Age game. It was something completely different that they tried to do with it. When you watch that first trailer where it's announcing all the characters, with that music in the background, and then you go back and you watch all the other trailers for the other Dragon Age games, you can't even compare them. It's a completely different style and look, and it's a game. It's like, here it is. It's a new era for Dragon Age. Hopefully you like it. You better like it, you bigot. This pisses me off. At launch, the Veilguard was review bombed online. Sure it was. Criticism of the game being woke centered on the inclusion of non-binary companion character and the ability for the player to choose to be transgender. On Steam, Dragon Age the Veilguard now sits with a mixed player response, with user-defined tags for the game describing it under LGBTQ+ and politics labels. People were attacking the game before it was released. It's ridiculous, she continues. How can you judge a game, a book, a film, a TV show before it's actually released? You can't. It's an idiotic stance to take. What is marketing? If you see a bad commercial, you're not going to go for a movie. You're not going to see the movie. The commercial for Dragon Age Veilguard was terrible. Nobody wanted to play the game. And then to kind of save face, you start talking about the transgender stuff that nobody's interested in video games. And you can't even be a jerk to the transgender person. You know? You have to agree. And people are tired of this. That's not Dragon Age. You know, Dragon Age had LGBTQ+ in the first one. You could romance the elf. That was Zevran, I think his name, as a male character. No one cared about that. Where was the outrage about that? You could romance Fenris as a male, or Anders. Pretty sure you could romance Fenris, but you could romance Anders. Actually, it highly encouraged you to, it felt like. Nobody complained about that. You know why? Because the game was good. The writing was good. It wasn't this millennial garbage writing that we're getting with all these games like Borderlands and Dragon Age, the Veilguard. People are sick of it. I'm sick of it. In January, publisher EA said Dragon Age the Veilguard had underperformed versus its expectations around 50%, just days after the game's director, Corina Bush, confirmed she was leaving the company. Meanwhile, other BioWare staff who worked on the game were laid off. In the same month, BioWare singled out it had released its final update for Dragon Age the Veilguard with no further content announced or expected. What does that tell you? That nobody liked the game right there. Crazy. I only ever wanted to see the folks from BioWare thrive. Everyone else did too, but unfortunately they made dumb decisions. And when you make dumb decisions, you have to live with the consequences. And whatever she concluded with, and whatever they go on to do next, I have no doubt their talent will be richly rewarded. We're really lucky we'll get more gold from them in the future. Now, if they continue with what they're doing with this. But I'm speaking a little bit more passionately in this video, like I posted my other videos, because I loved Dragon Age. Dragon Age Origins was like the first big RPG I ever played, and it blew my mind. It got me into the RPG sphere of things. I only played first-person shooters. I rarely played RPGs. And this got me into those games. And then I played Mass Effect, which blew my mind. I never thought games could be like that. And it sucks to see, you know, what they can be, because they were that. They were him. And then they went to this beta mode. Try not to swear. But this is just such a ridiculous statement to make. This right here, it tells you everything you need to know. It wasn't the alt-right trolls that review bombed the game so that they're not going to make any further content. It's because nobody was playing it. Oh my gosh. It's almost like they weren't making any money off the game. So, part of the reason I want to talk about this is, like, here on May 8th of 2024, the game came out on October 31st, I believe, of 2024. It was still called the Dread Wolf. They changed the name in June. So, people saying that, I think there was another article from PC Gamer saying that this game needed more time in the oven. 9 to 10 years in development. I remember when they announced it, I was excited. Long development cycle. The game's development began in 2015 with various stages of iterations leading to its eventual release in 2024. A shift in game type, originally conceived as a live service game. Thank God they didn't do that. The project was later re-envisioned as a single-player title. Major revisions. The game underwent significant revisions during its development, with changes in the gameplay mechanics, story, and structure. Wonder what it could have been. Focus on story. The final version of the game prioritized single-player story-driven experiences, reflecting BioWare's focus on delivering a compelling narrative. It wasn't that compelling. Multiple names. The game was initially announced as Dragon Age the Dread Wolf in 2022, and later retitled Dragon Age the Veilguard in 2024. Just a couple of months before it came out. So this whole time, it felt like they had no idea what they wanted from the game. Now again, this is an AI overview, but they had their sources and stuff. But then when they talked about the character creation, you know, they also wanted to reiterate to us that, hey, we're edgy like Baldur's Gate. We have a new character creation or whatever. They talked about the hair because people were upset about the trans surgery scars. They tried to hype it up with this awesome character creator. You know, oh, but the character creator's so good. It's so good. You kept hearing that. But I've got nothing else to say. Like, I'm pissed about this. Like, this really made me mad a lot. I'm a lot angrier than I thought I'd be. But yeah, I've got nothing else to say about this. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. Did you like the Veilguard? What's your favorite Dragon Age game? I love Origins. That's the best for me. I love Origins. I think the story of the Grey Warden is one of the best stories. What would you have liked to see Veilguard do? Would you think that they could have just made a continuation of Inquisition where the Inquisitor is looking for Solus. I think that's what they should have done. Yeah, I've got nothing else to say. I'm just so angry. Sorry it was an angry video, but I'm going to go ahead and go. If you liked the video, leave a like. If you didn't like the video, thank you for watching so long. Subscribe if you want to, and I'll catch you guys later.